Hello everyone. Today we are going to present you the sustainable practices across different industries. For today's PPT, we will present you the practices in the aluminum industries. We are students of Avian Institute of Management in Bhubaneswar. I have with myself Arnab Mukherjee. I have Arya, Ashish, Paidik, and Sandhya. So, to give you a rough introduction of the industry here in India, aluminum is the third most available element on Earth, constituting 7.3% by mass. It is also a lightweight, strong, and highly recyclable material, and that is the reason it is considered a very sustainable material. The global requirement of aluminum is 7.4 million tons. Indian economy has been seen a consistent growth of around 8% per annum, and India has the world's 10% of the world's bauxite, which is the ore for aluminum. Here you can see the different elements, and you can see that that aluminum is the third most available element. Then we then we go for need for sustainable practices, which will be taken up by Arya.
The aluminium industry needs to practice sustainability for the following: technological progress. Efforts in technology have been ongoing in finding more revolutionary primary metal production for more than 50 years, but a breakthrough has not been achieved. Air emission control, energy efficiency, dust control, and solid waste minimization and/or reutilization are critical for accountable secondary aluminium production. Energy and resource use. This is an unvarying challenge to the industry going further. About 80% of the total primary energy demand for all aspects of primary production accounts for electricity used in the smelting process. Each ton of aluminium metal consumes 1.9 tons of alumina, 437 kg of carbon anodes, and 15,300 kilowatt of electricity. Waste minimization and elimination, the third point. Greenhouse gases unswervingly contribute a lot while the process of aluminium smelting takes place. They include carbon dioxide, that is CO2, and perfluorocarbons. The current level of GHG emissions per ton of aluminium production is 1.6 tons of CO2 and 0.6 tons of CO2 is produced in the fourth is business operations. A responsible supply chain management and product post-sales tracking system have yet to be established by minor firms, and there is potential for improvement with respect to setting clear targets for resource efficiency and waste reduction. The fifth is product end of life. Challenges include and incentives for recycling and implementing design for recycling, as well as instilling an improved understanding of recycling. These are challenges for both the and the general public and policy marketers.
Now we are going to discuss some non-sustainable practices followed by the aluminum industry. So we start with challenges during the extraction process. The process of extracting bauxite and then transforming it into aluminum is very energy intensive. It requires huge amount of water. During the process of bauxite extraction from the earth, the strip mining process ends up removing all native vegetation in the region. A loss of habitat and food for local wildlife occurs immediately. Unprecedented soil erosion due to mining is also a huge concern. Challenges post the extraction process due to large volumes occupying land areas and also due to alkalinity of the residue after bauxite extraction. The disposal of bauxite residue is a challenging aspect in the production of aluminum. Dry stacking allows the residue to be stored in higher piles, thereby uses less land. This also eliminates the risk of flooding of areas adjacent to the mining areas. Then we have then we see that the aluminum extraction is a coal heavy process, that it uses a lot of coal in generating the electricity for aluminum extraction. The red sludge that is deposited is into excavated mine pits where they seep into aquifers and disturb the groundwater there. Greenhouse gases and particulate emissions takes place during the smelting process, that is converting the ore to the metal, and there's a huge amount of electricity that is required to yield the final product. The best practices followed.
Okay, guys. So, seeing the best practices followed by the industry globally, let's first see European aluminium. So, since 1990, the European aluminium industry has reduced its carbon dioxide emissions by more than 50% and PFC emissions by 90%. Their goal is to further reduce industrial energy consumption by 10% tons of aluminium produced or transformed. As electricity counts up for 40% of cost of primary smelters in Europe, energy efficiency is a driver of competitiveness in this sector, as electricity accounts up to 40% of the cost. So let's see the social aspect. The European aluminium industry is committed towards being an inclusive and progressive industry. The safety and health of their workers are the members' top priority and industry, and has been working on to eliminate industrial accidents. Australian Aluminium Company. Australian Aluminium Company have a company-wide focus on responsible practices. They are long-term thinkers. They want a sustainable business model that allows aluminium industries to deliver efficient and high quality and value-added products and services today and in the future. Talking about a company from India, that is Hindalco's blueprint for sustainability. As a global metals business working across the aluminum and copper value chains with operations in 13 countries, sustainability is at the very core of Hindalco's operations. The width and span of Hindalco's operations necessitate a well-rounded and holistic approach to sustainability that encompasses a variety of areas like sustainable mining practices, conservation energy, safety practices, recycling, environmental friendly disposal of industrial waste, socio-economic development of the communities around us, and empowerment of our employees. Now, let's see practices that need to be followed in India.
Now, coming back to India, practices that can be followed for obtaining sustainability in aluminium industry in India can be looked upon. Now, process-wise, mining of bauxite comes first. So, the measures that can be followed are displacement of the lumber soil and organic rich soil for reforestation, establishing flora and fauna and in company-owned lands. The lease for mining can be sanctioned only after approving the rehabilitation techniques employed by the firm. Next comes the production process. During production, using regenerated thermal oxides can destroy PAH compounds which are highly carcinogenic and make the process more sustainable. So, sophisticated water treatment plants can so that water wastage can be reduced and then recycling of water can be promoted. Next, coming to the greenhouse footprints, redesigning the machinery to reduce greenhouse gases emissions like improved electrolytes, thinner anode butts, etc. can be implemented. Improving feeding and dissolution of alumina, employing greener materials that are used as anodes. Next is the waste management. The carbon part of SPL, that is spent pot lining, is hazardous. Thus, it can be used as an energy source in the cement industry, and thus the extraction of carbon can be controlled. Then SPL can also be used in steel and insulation materials production. SPL can also be used in the cement industry as a raw material and alternative fuel, reducing its outcome and hence providing sustainable measures.
Taking an example of a company, Rio Tinto, and how it makes aluminum and does the sustainable practices. So it has a zero harm by choice environment and has set the world benchmark in air emissions, reduced environment footprint, and the reuse of the impacted site, that is the brownfield. 67% of all electricity used by this company is derived from renewable sources and is also using a solar photovoltaic array to lessen diesel usage. It signed the Paris Pledge for change. So here we see some other sustainable practices followed. Strong environment repositioning provides credibility from the stakeholders. Rio Tinto's proprietary technology, perfected over 30 years, is recognized today as the cleanest way to produce aluminum. It drives down electricity consumption, reduces atmospheric emissions, including greenhouse gases, and enables producers to recycle waste. Then finally, we come to the conclusion, and we say that aluminum is a highly recyclable material. That is one of the reasons it should be considered for sustainable practices. 90% of aluminum is recyclable. 70% of the metal produced is still in use. Government can take more stringent steps in establishing sustainable practices in the production of aluminum. This will make aluminum more welcoming and effective industry in improving the overall global footprints towards sustainability.